ほら、ルフィ、今一緒に海賊になる仲間を探してるんだ。
Hello guys, welcome to my channel The Wandering Zoro, your go-to destination for anime-related content. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our latest videos. In today's video, we're going to be diving into part 4 of the series, so be sure to stick around until the end, and let's get started. Bit before the girls' return, I walked out of the basement and yawned as I sit down next to Dad to watch TV. Did they have fun? He nodded as shows up to the mirror being broken as the camera crew had to leave. Nice, it looks like the mirror caused the clones. Mischief Maker did well. Well, I got the quirk to work as intended. Each item created dates back between 3000 BC and 1200 AD. Now Midas gloves or a polished chariot. Dad said, why not both and make a stockpile for future events? Also, if you can make Aegis, the shield that had Medusa's face burned into it. Let's scare some people back. I nodded and headed back downstairs as I began to form the gloves of Midas. Once I finished them, I nearly dropped them when I hear a loud thud. Time skipped to after the announcement of last chapter. So hun, what shall I do to the pervert? Can I castrate him? I laughed and kissed my fiancé, no Momo. I think I know a better way to kill him. I've planned a very fun artifact to kill him. I gently pull out a small pearl necklace and make sure none of the girls touch it. This is Aphrodite's pearls. This necklace will make any boy who sees its wearer become mindless thrills. Let's have Mineta attack his friends with his mistress hiding the pearls. My phone goes off, and it's Mineta. Momo laughed. Speak of the devil, huh? How long do the pearls affect their target? I answered my phone on speaker after motioning everyone to be quiet. Mineta, it's 3 in the morning. What do you want? Dude, there's new OD villainesses. Can you see if that website has pictures of them? Hopefully with Mischief Maker and Emeralda together? I coughed a bit. You woke me up because you wanted more pictures? You know the cost for them. I can't believe I have to hop onto the dark net again. Do you know their names? He rambles them off, thanks me, and hangs up. The girls start to plan their photos as my mom and dad go to bed. As they talked, I put on my Midas gloves and turn a glass of water into gold with my right glove without affecting the water inside. I touch the water and smirk as water remains unchanged. I use my other glove to change it back. Perfect, the gloves work. Also, if they worked as wanted, so should the pearls. The effects last for a month or until the wearer says the victim's name is freed. All the girls wanted a set, but I said no. Girls, calm down. Artifacts have to be unique. Now, Jim bitch, you get the next artifact, a polished chariot. Let's just say the attack will be the Midnight Sun. Hun, you get the necklace. Mischief, you want a shield or Midas gloves? She chose shield, so Onyx Slut got the gloves. They watched as I formed the shield in front of them. I pressed a button paralyzing GB and OS for a couple of seconds when they see the ruby eyes I put in Medusa's face. Don't worry, you two will be able to move in a couple of minutes. I show Mischief how to use it and try using mirrored shades to resist its effect. It definitely worked, and with a polished chariot flying around the camp, it will make the sunglasses make sense in the middle of the night. With that done, I set up a part of the basement into a photography set with perfect lighting and cameras. I let the girls have fun until Momo hugs me. Izzy, you want to join us in the pictures? I'm sure if you actually set up a website, lots of girls will want to see your body. This made me blush at the idea as I finished the chariot. I'm not sure that is a good idea, plus the site is a lie to make that grapist our biggest scapegoat. Eventually, all 4 of the girls talk me into it, and after removing all of my scars from years of bullying and putting on my disguise, let them take pictures. It did go a bit further, but not going to tell that here. Morning came, and there was a rapid knocking on the door. I got dressed in shorts and a simple shirt and answered it. Midoriya, what's up? I sighed and closed the door behind me as I walked out. Mineta, it's 8 a.m., and I just woke up. Be glad I have a program running on my PC to find stuff like that. It'll text me when it finds something. I motioned Mineta to follow me as I head to the nearby IHOP. Yeah, sorry Midoriya, I couldn't wait. I'll pay for breakfast and the pics. I nodded and walked in. I saw Earl and walked over. Hey wolf boy, give me a drink of AB dash? Earl laughed. Yo Fong, how's it been? I smiled. Been fine, finally adjusted to my quirk. The day you met me was the day after it manifested. I'm Midoriya, Izuku by the way. Earl introduced himself and I introduced him to Mineta. We talked and had fun making jokes about what's going on with the world. That's when Earl said something. Oh yeah, I think my quirk evolved. I can now become a cat as well. I pretend to think before looking at him. Maybe your quirk is if you eat animal fur you can become them? He shrugged, saying he'd tested as we eat breakfast, and my phone goes off. It's Momo saying the pictures are ready. Hey Mineta, the program found the girl you were looking for. Let's go see the full file. See you later, Earl. I give him the animal fur website address, and I head home with Mineta bouncing and trying to race me. Once I get home, Momo walked out and tossed an envelope at me. I can't believe you. How could you? I hug her, hun breath, and let me explain, please. Your hormones are going crazy from the vampire bride transformation. Now what happened, and what's in that envelope? Momo pretended to calm down. Does that villainess turn you on more than me? Not only Emeralda, but the other broads with her. Momo cried on my shoulder as I saw Mineta take the envelope and run without paying me. Once he was gone, Momo and I laughed softly. We quickly went inside after pretending to talk for a while. Next time you're planning theatrics, warn me in text. She nodded as she kissed me. So did he pay you? I shook my head. I will pretend to forget about it until the camp event. I will reveal who I am, have you make him your thrall, and have his own classmates kill him. She kisses me again. Can you make a bikini to wear as I plunder the camp? Before I answer, the other girls want one too. I sigh and look at all of them. After a couple of minutes, they each have a bikini made of their respective gems, but Mischief Maker's is made of black metal and strips of green gold. I remove all birthmarks, scars, and other identifying marks from where they are exposed as my dad walks in. I knew you were a ladies' man's son, but Jim Bitch is my bride. I sigh, sorry Dad. They wanted to take pictures to make Mineta look like a mole for Odie Centerfold-worthy pictures and want bikinis to go with their sunglasses for when we do Operation Midnight Sunday. He laughs, saying that he was joking, and says I can have her. This makes her happy as I feel her quirk become a part of my collection. After that, we test all the previous artifacts I made. Some were simple with just flight, lasers, lightning, fire, and I made a few more dangerous ones. There was one that lets people become different aliens. I based it off an old TV show and made multiple show-based ones as a way to really mess with the heroes. Mischief asked for another mirror, and I shook my head. Not right now. After the camp and a few others shall we need it again. She nodded, and we all went to bed since tomorrow Momo and I have to go to camp. I woke up and grabbed my phone to answer it. Please tell me there's a reason you're calling me at midnight? This woke up Momo and Lily as they were in the room next to mine. I wanted to call and apologize for stealing the pics. Look, I snuck over and put the money in the mailbox for you. I hope Momo calmed down after you explained. I growled, acting mad. Nope, she doesn't believe me since I got you to act less perverted for a bit. You owe me a lot. I hung up and checked the mail, finding a really heavy envelope. It was easily a few $100,000 in cash, but how did he get it? I headed inside to see my dad and Momo on the couch. What's in that envelope, son? I tossed the envelope to Dad, and he raised his eyebrows in shock. I think Mineta has a big secret. I'll have Lily check it out later. If his family is secretly rich or he has underground connections, we might need to keep him. We will need a new scapegoat. That's when I heard Lily rush by me and leave. I was going to give her a new quirk, but okay. I sigh, making powder leave my hand and follow her current path backwards. Hun, you're an idiot. I look at Momo as she did the same thing, but on my steps. Oh, I forgot brides share my quirks. I need more sleep. I'm going to beat the hell out of Mineta later. I headed back to bed and dozed off for the next 6 hours. When I woke up, I grabbed my bag and headed to school with Momo. Momo and I were there first and on different sides of the classroom with her acting and at me. I smelt Hagakure before I saw her walk in. She was in casual clothes and, of course, invisible to the naked eye. I had a way to see her, but didn't feel like using it. She and Momo talked for a while before she walked over to me. Ouch, what did you do to Yaoyorozu? I've never seen her so mad. I sighed and acted the part. I did a favor for someone, and she found it. She is mad for what I was doing. Before you ask, I can't who or what it was. I swore on my fangs, and I am not filing them for a month. Hagakure tilted her head. She was wearing a headband, and sighed. Can I get a hint or something? Maybe I can help you out? I simply shook my head and acted worried as I rubbed my arm. She walked away, and more of the class walked in with Mineta, giving me a really wide berth as I ignored him. After Aizawa walked in, we were all ushered to a bus labeled as a normal high school. I hid my anger as we started riding to the camp. After a few hours, we stopped at a cliff. I stood next to my dad, softly chatting with him as Momo scoffed and walked by me. How bad did you make Momo angry? She is regaining her coloring with how mad she is. I shook my head as the wild pussycats introduced themselves. I signaled for Momo to get ready to forgive as I had a feeling that the cliff we are on is about to vanish. As it dissolved, I pushed my dad onto the bus, dashed grabbing Momo, and gripped the edge of the ground that wasn't affected before I pull us up. Are you guys stupid or just reckless? After forming a crimson shield, I surfed down on it and collected everyone and relaxed after everyone at worst had a few scrapes. Soon after, Momo and my dad surfed down with Momo apologizing for being mad. I'm sorry I was so mad, Izu. I understand it was just a favor, but why that idiot? I just tapped my fangs and she sighed. You and your oath on your fangs. After that we had gotten to camp we ate, and I began to twitch a bit as I searched for a pouch of vital fluid, not to find any. Oh no. Izawa walked over and saw I forgot to pack the cooler. That's not good, is it? Tiger, come here quickly. The only male of the group walked over, and when he got a bit too close to me, I tried to bite him. His pliabody quirk let him dodge me. What he didn't expect, and neither did I, was that I could bend my body crazily, breaking my bones until I could bite him. I drank for longer than 10 seconds and pulled away. Once I was done, I pretended to freak out. Ow. What did I do this time? My entire body feels like I was put in a taffy puller. Momo rushed over and sighed as she saw the empty cooler. Hun, I told you to pack it. Oh no, I didn't. I'm so sorry. You went into bloodlust cause I was mad at you. She hugged me and gently carried me to my bed where she covered me. My dad walked over and explained that I was upset that Momo was upset with me that I wouldn't eat. They bought it and had to figure out a way for them to feed us vampires. I healed by supper time, and I slowly walked out with some stumbling. Remind me to always pack 2 vital fluid coolers. Everyone except Mineta and Bakugo walked over, glad to see I was fine already. After I got through them, I walked over to Tiger. I am so sorry about biting you. When I get really hungry in that aspect, I kinda go crazy. Also, your quirk is very useful. It's helping me move with less pain. Tiger picked me up in one hand. What do you mean by that, Dracula? I yip and squirm. If I drink someone's vital fluid for 10 seconds, or get enough making them pass out, I have a temporary copy of someone's quirk. He was stunned and put me down, a bit curious. How much longer till you're fully healed and the copy vanishes? I shrugged. An hour in the healing, and I think roughly a day quirk-wise. He smirked. You'll fight me in an hour. I want to see what it's like to fight me. He and Izawa, who ran up when I was grabbed, walked into the cabin they were staying in. I quickly walked over to Momo and ate supper with her, surprised to taste vital fluid in it. Momo shushed me and pointed to everyone's elbows. There was a band-aid on the inside where everyone had to donate vital fluid. The most noticeable one was Hagakure, with hers floating around. I scratched the back of my head. I apologize to you all. I didn't mean to cause you all to have to donate vital fluid. It wasn't part of the plan at all, and neither was the cooler being empty, but it may be worth it since I could taste everyone's quirks, including the WWPs. A mess-up became an epic opportunity. After supper, I walked over to an arena and braced myself to fight Tiger. It was fun fighting him with my enhanced speed and using his pliabody quirk against him. By the end of the fight, I had 2 scratches on my arm when he got punched at least 4 times. He gave up after a bit and laughed. I am so glad that you're a good guy. If a villain had my quirk, there would be no way for anyone to stop them if they can move as fast as you. I laughed and slowly stood back up. I can help you increase your speed. I actually do special training to help move faster for longer. There's actually 3 types of muscle in a person's body. I've trained for months, much harder than most can, to convert them all. No more red or white muscle types. I'm just the fused pink muscles now. Vampires naturally change to pink muscles, as I learned with Momo. Pink has white's strength and red's endurance. I gave Tiger my exercise plan to change his muscles and smirk after I had FO bed. He would barely get in a day's worth of it before I personally kill him. I was glad he agreed to keep the muscle training secret. I don't want any fake heroes to find out how to do it. So tomorrow will be training, and tomorrow night will be a massacre. I hate this stupid camp. Mineta is bugging me during breaks if there's any cell service. I knocked him out during breakfast as it was too early. After about an hour of training, I lost Tiger's quirk as I helped him train his muscles. That's when I saw Koda, a young hero hater. I saw his heart was pure, but he just upset his hero parents were killed. That night after supper, I got on his good side as I showed him my fangs. After a while of talking, I asked if a villain promised to bring back his parents, would he follow that person? He shook his head, saying he would love his parents back, but he doesn't want to have to break the law to do it. I smiled and walked away. There is a resurrection quirk out there. If I find the person and they can use it on your parents, I will send them your way. This made him cheer a bit and follow since we get to use the camp's hot spring, and he was warned about Mineta. While we were all relaxing in the hot spring after a long day of training, I actually dozed off. While this happened, Mineta climbed the wall, got hit by Koda, and then got tied up by Zero. By the time I woke up, everyone else was leaving, and I was thirsty. F it, I finally relax, doze off, and now I am thirsty. The second I said thirsty, I glanced at Mineta, causing him to pass out. With a laugh, I dry off and change. I need water, not vital fluid, but him fainting made it worth the joke. The rest agreed, and we all went to bed. The next day, Class 1B joined us a bit before lunch. Seriously, we have a full day and a half more training than these idiots, and that blonde idiot tried to gloat. I ignored him until he tried to clone my quirk by hitting me. When he tried, his body paled, fangs quickly formed, and he became really thirsty for vital fluid. I knocked him out after he bit and nearly killed a good amount of his class. We had him tied up, put in a form of a jail cell, and I smirked secretly. After lunch, I asked Izawa if I can call my mom and see how she is going. I told him I've never been gone this long, and I didn't want her to have a panic attack. He allowed it, and I called her. "Hey mom, how are you doing? If someone is listening, son, say you got hurt a bit." I laughed. "I'm fine, except a classmate tried to mimic my quirk. He was hit with a major bloodlust." "Okay, I will make it simple. Mineta is worthless. Lily found out he just stole money from his parents, and they are not happy. Also, do you need all the girls for the party?" "I'm glad you're okay, mom." "Yes, I will tell Momo you said hi. Don't forget your show is on tonight at 7. I don't need you to forget and not understand next week." She laughed. "I'll also pack the light bow. This will be fun." I said bye and hung up. Izawa told me to get back to training, and I did. That night there was a challenge of courage. We had Class 1B start as the scarers. I smirked as I was teamed up with Momo, and we both were ready to have a lot of fun once the attack started. That's when blue fire coated the forest in an area. It was too soon for our attack, and we knew who it was. I rushed to Dabi and growled at him. "What are you doing here? I never called for you." Dabi looked confused. "Shigaraki told us that we were. He said that you wanted us to kidnap Bakugo and Mineta." I sighed. Should have known that he was the traitor. Follow his plan, but instead kill Bakugo. "I will deal with Shigi later." He nodded. "Anything for the man who saved my brother from more torture and killed my father." We went our separate ways, and I became Fire Opal, and I used a quirk to tell my mom that I hope the girls are ready. They arrived, and I smirked more. Let's have fun. Kill Shigaraki's minions that won't bow to me and anyone from Class 1B. Bakugo, Mineta, the teachers, and the wild pussycats are our main targets. Leave anyone else hurt, and that's it. Broken bones at worst. With that, I teleported to Shigi and smirked. "You know your plan was badly timed. It gave me the ability to see that you are the traitorous group." Shigaraki tried to grab me and decay me. I let him, but nothing happened to my arm. His quirk backfired, and he became dust in front of me. With the main traitor dead, I warped back and saw a big idiot about to attack Koda. I blocked his punch at Koda and growled, "We don't kill children. They are our future." Muscular scoffed and punched me into the mountainside. "I will kill who or what I want. No random low-rank villain will stop me." He tried to grab Koda, only for me to stop him again. "I am Fire Opal, you idiot. I rank higher than Shigaraki because I am his boss." Actually, more like was, I killed him for betraying me. Muscular growled, "Shigaraki was the leader of the League of Villains. You were just the face." This time he tried to kill me, but instead I bit his head off and swallowed it whole. I hate idiots who follow idiots. "Kid, go down the mountainside and hide in the cabin. I swear on my villain roots my team won't kill you as we fight our traitors." Koda ran away, and I got hit by a big explosion from Bakugo. I smirked and turned. "Good timing, bud. I was just about to look for you." This caused him to point blank blast me in the face. I simply brushed off my Fire Opal shell and shrugged. "Curse, you are weak. My brother has more of a punch, and he is quirkless." When he tried to attack me again, I stabbed him, destroying his heart. He shuddered and coughed a bit as I pierced his lungs next, making him spit up vital fluid. When I saw he was near death, I revealed myself. "Bet you regret being a piece of trash to me now, don't you?" His last word was Deku before I removed his brain and eyes. Once I was redisguised, I carried his corpse to WWP. When I walked into their view, I dropped him and rushed at them, killing Tiger instantly. Once he was dead, I ripped out his brain and ate it in front of his teammates. This made them all hurl before I stole their quirk and ate their brains too. After they were all dead, I headed to the meetup point and waited. Momo/Emeralda POV. I walked through forest and camp, killing all the boys from 1B. When I found Mineta, I smirked and adjusted my dress to show more cleavage. Hello there. You're the boy who wanted to see me naked, right? Even though he was about to die, he nodded furiously. I slowly walked over to him and bit his neck as I made him a simple drone. Once he was changed, I filled his pockets with pictures of us girls signed with, to our perverted spy. With him as a simple drone and no vampire powers, I had him attack his classmates, and if he gets caught, he is to bite his tongue and die. He goes off to do his job, and I find Vlad, the teacher of 1B. Hello, Vladdy. Want to give me a detention? I kind of felt sick saying it, but it definitely flustered the vital fluid bender. As he tried to make his brain register what I said, I kicked his head off. After I cleaned his vital fluid off my heels, I walked to the main cabin, just in time to see Mineta die from him biting his tongue while trapped in Izawa's scarf. F it. The stupid midget didn't even get a single person. I screamed before I ran away as Izawa tried to grab me. After a bit, I got away from him as I ran by where Izuku killed the wild pussycats. I licked my lips at all the vital fluid, but kept going as I ended up at the meeting point. All the traders' team was there, and some people from our class were about to come our way. Izuku, his dad, and I changed to our normal/high school looks and had them beat us up a bit. By the time Todoroki, Shoji, Karashima, Uraraka, and Tsu got to us, we looked close to death and burned like crazy. The girls pretended to try to drag us away, but easily dropped us and ran as Todoroki tried to burn them. When I woke up after passing out, the three of us were in a hospital room covered in bandages. When the detective and his friends came in, he asked the usual questions. What do you remember? Do you have any ideas why they would want you? Can you think of anything that can help us find them? We lied and got away with it easily. We were randomly attacked while we went through a small game between us and 1B. Some guy with hands wanted us during the USJ incident, so maybe he tried to kidnap us. No, officer, sorry. Can you get us some vital fluid, please? We are close to going into bloodlust. When the police left, our classmates that weren't too hurt came in and pretty much asked us the same questions as the nurse gave us our vital fluid. We answered and tried to stay as polite as possible while we had to hit some more clingy people. Is everyone okay? We were kinda attacked right off the bat and didn't see anyone else. Uraraka growled. Mineta was the stupid mole. He tried to kill Izawa before he killed himself. He had pictures of the villainesses that work with Fire Opal. Shoji formed a mouth on one of his arms, but Kugo was killed by Fire Opal, and so were the wild pussycats. He ate their brains. Izuku pretended to be about to hurl, though I know he ate them. With that, everyone left after some catching up. Apparently, we slept a few days after the camp incident. We quickly healed after drinking all of the vital fluid. We left later and headed home where we planned to relax. When we arrived at Izuku's home, we all headed to the living room, watched TV, and chatted about what we did during the attack. Apparently, Lily saw what Mineta did. He tried to stab Izawa only for Izuku's shield book's effect to stop him. After a long evening of joking, we all headed to our respective homes and went to sleep. Wonder where we will strike next. By the time I got home and headed to the basement, there was a collection of multiple relics I did not create. After moving some, I find a sleeping Lily under a big blanket. I gently shook her awake and carried her to my room, where I laid her down on my bed. Get some sleep. I will look over your relics, okay? She nodded and dozed back off as I went down to check. The first few were just silly creations. A bottomless carpet bag which can hold infinite items tagged as Mary Popping Bag. Then my favorite of the silly stuff was something called Gaff Stink Bombs. I kinda wish I warped to the middle of nowhere before popping one. Even tomato juice couldn't remove the smell until it faded a week later. I only know this as I warped the room a week in time. I packed them in a bag for later and winced a bit as I looked at my leg. It hasn't fully healed, but I could still walk on it. Unfortunately, Momo also had an injury like this. Should have had the idiots hold back a bit. The main reason was Davy's fire. It turns all it touches to ash, and he used it on us. Dad was only messed up from Spinner, a stupid lizard, and some magnetic quirk person, so he is already fully healed. After messing with some funny relics, like a bottomless bottle of seltzer, which is a bubbly fluid that comes out as a thick foam, I head upstairs for supper. After supper, I smirk as I set up another plan using the sillier relics. After supper, I called in the girls after getting some ice packs on my burned leg and Momo's arm. Okay, girls, your new job is to cause mayhem around and in UA. Please be careful where you use the stick bombs. It takes a week for the smell to fully vanish. Mariko, your job is to fight them again. Destroy any relic but the carpet bag and the stink bomb canister. I like them, and they can definitely be reused. I adjust the ice pack before continuing. Now I don't want you to kill anyone. When someone asks how you got and toss them this, I hand MT Lady Minetta's school ID. Now should you see All Might, Sharpie all over his face, GG present Mike, Airhorn Aizawa often, and force lunch rush to eat fish-flavored candy. Just make the attack horrible for them. Momo began to get up, but I pulled her back onto the couch. You are not going this time. Let them have some fun, okay? She nodded. Fine, but I better be able to rip out some people's hearts next time. I agreed, and I kinda wish I didn't. Lily huffed. You basically bend over backwards for her, and all I got was I'll check on my relics. I'm a bride too. Midnight nodded. Yeah, I've not had any fun with you, and honestly Mineta was not worth this youth. You still need to make up for that. Same here. I may have started your dad's, but I'm yours now. MT Lady stated as Mariko covered her face with her ears muttering something similar. I groaned as the five bickered with Momo claiming she's higher ranked cause she was the first and my fiancé in the legal sense. I slowly stood and got myself a drink as they argued. After a few seconds I hiss at them, shut it. Any louder and the neighbors will think I am a womanizer and a PMP. Then when the cops come, they will do a big test, and our villain sides will be revealed. That shut them up before they started arguing via telepathy. Unfortunately, I heard every single mentally shouted, high-pitched insult. I mentally screamed in rage, scaring them before I headed to bed. After a couple of hours, they all walked into my room. I'm sitting in my chair and gaming on my PC, but I pause it when they come in. What do you all want? I explained Momo was my head bride because I love her. What else do you want? Midnight walked over and sat on my bed. First off, you need to treat us all equally and make up for us becoming your brides. You sealed the deal with Momo, but not us. Unsurprisingly, the rest agreed, but Momo agreed too, which surprised me. I'm not going to screw all of you. I only love Momo, and the rest of you are proving your worth before I remove your leashes. Lily sat on my desk, making sure not to sit on my mouse or keyboard. That's what your deal with me was, but MT Lady was your dad's. You wanted Mariko even if just as a spy. And Midnight, well, she's a hag. Hey, I sighed as I sat back in my seat. Her points were valid except the hag bit. That was harsh. Momo sat on my lap. How about they earn some time with you? Each mission is a little game where they gain points. They get to join us after they get all the points. She then whispered in my ear, it might make them work harder and speed up our plans. I nodded. Fine, but they must earn 100 points. Each mission will have a max of 25. I may be a teenager, but my hormones don't cloud my judgment. Mariko walked over. 25 each person or total? So if we all do really good, we get our reward in 4 missions, or will we have to do much more? I groaned tiredly. Look, it's just a base idea. Let me sleep and plan the point system out. Now go cause chaos, please, you 4. I'll have to set up a special grade sheet for Mariko since she's playing good guy. Midnight huffed. Why can't I play hero? I have to teach some classes today. I began to slam my head into my desk, breaking it after a few hits. Fine. Momo set up Mariko with a gem type with her bunny, bits colors changed. I'm thinking aquamarine and a nice blue fur or hair. Now that that's settled, please get out and use the sillier relics. I need some sleep. They left and I dozed off. When I wake up later, there better be a news bulletin about UA being terrorized. I woke up and gently shook Momo awake before heading downstairs to shower and eat. When the warm water hits where Davy's fire hit me, I hissed loudly and hurried up to finish my shower. With a quick walk to the kitchen, I put a new ice pack on my leg. I hope this burning stops soon. I regret letting Dobby burn us. After a bit, Momo stumbled down, still tired. Be careful, my vampire queen. Warm water will agitate the burned bits. She thanks me as Mom and Dad walk out of their room. Dad had to make a joke. You get too hyped up and Momo bit you? I hissed. No, the burns from Dobby are still burning under my skin. Luckily, the only one really deep is on my leg. The rest are light burning compared to this one. Almost on cue, I hear hissing from the bathroom, some fumbling from a rush shower, and Momo rushing in and putting an ice pack on her arm. May I kill Dobby later? That hurt. I shake my head and kiss her. Now, calm down, hon. We need him alive. We eat breakfast and Dad shifted to brother form before we headed to school. When we entered the classroom, Momo and I get crowded and someone, against all odds, get both of our burn spots. We hissed loudly in pain. Shoto, ice my leg and Momo's arm, please. He quickly does, and I fall to the ground sighing in relief. Momo and Dad helped me to my seat, as everyone looked confused. The fire villain burned us and got us pretty bad in those 2 spots. Even though our skin healed, the rest haven't. The shocking idiot apologizes, and I wave him off as I sit back in my seat. Izawa walked in and looked at the ice on Momo and I. Okay, problem child. Why do you and your girlfriend have ice on you? Momo explained, and he instantly paled. I am sorry. I thought you both were fully healed. Momo and I both say at the same time, so did we. Class resumes as normal with a notice that this afternoon there will be training, but since there's no B1, we will be against the support class so they can help understand our quirks for better gear. I thought for a second and raised my hand. Izawa nodded for me to ask. Think they can get a hold of silver, holy water, rose water, holy ground, and blessed crosses? I was reading old legends of vampires, and they mentioned those items. He shrugged and left the room to talk to Power Loader. That's when Ida looked at me. Aren't those items that hurt vampires? I nodded. Yeah, but I doubt they will since we can eat garlic without a problem. What does garlic do to vampires? It repels us, or at least it does all but the king and queen vampires. After a bit of us doing talking about quirk training, everyone did as I motioned Shoto over. When he got close to me, I asked, remember dinner a while ago? You asked to be a vampire? He nodded as he re-iced my leg. I can do it, but it might hurt you some, and you just be very careful. You will have mine, Momo, and a few other brides' quirks. I said the last bit quietly, and he nods. If Momo is okay with it, I will, but must I be called a vampire bride? I think vampire love would be better. I nodded and motioned him to his seat as Izawa got close to the classroom door. Izawa walked and said the support class will look into it. The rest of the morning was uneventful except for Shoto icing Momo and I every so often. During our English class, Present Mike yelled and broke the ice while vibrating a good part of the room. The resounding hiss made him actually CRP himself, curse my vampire-enhanced senses. It made us 3 gasp loudly as we caught a whiff of it. When Present Mike returned after cleaning himself, he apologized to us and talked at a more normal tone. Midnight walked in a bit later and wrinkled her nose as Present Mike left. What's the horrible smell? Present Mike whispered in her ear, making her gasp slightly. After he left, we had to read poetry with her always choosing me to read the raunchier bits. I gave her a glare after the 3rd time, and she quit. We switched to another poem, said toward vampires. I smirked and slightly motioned to Momo and my dad. I then telepathically told Midnight not to react to it like us. They don't know you're a vampire bride. At first we just fidgeted in our seats, which got us odd looks. As they kept reading it, Dad and I flung ourselves out the window with Momo following us soon after. We landed in a nearby tree and stayed there a bit mad. Heroes ran from all over the school to outside near the window and into the classroom. Izawa saw us in the tree first. Why are you 3 in that tree? Are you why the window broke? I slowly climbed down, being careful with my leg. Midnight had us read a poem said to repel vampires. At first it just made me uncomfortable, but as they kept reading it began to hurt. It was worse than the burn from that blue fire quirk dude. Dad and Momo nodded as well. We wanted everyone to think we had limits, so our reveal hits much harder. Midnight apologized, saying she forgot about the vampire bit. The bell rang for lunch, and we all ate with his 3 drinking an extra pouch of vital fluid. Shoto kinda cornered me after lunch. Are you okay? How bad did that hurt you? I chuckled. It didn't. I just want the others to think I have limits and weaknesses. Then when they try to fight back after we reveal ourselves, their safety precautions will be worthless. He smirked. You are devious. I nodded and poked his nose, and I know you love that about me and Momo. I left him stunned for a bit before we got ready for battle practice. We started to battle the support class. They tossed different things of dirt at me when I was fighting someone with a gas quirk. Using some mind reading, I knew which one was from a graveyard and another from a church. I grabbed the grave soil, and it made my attacks much stronger until the holy ground splattered in the ground and hits the burn spot on my leg. The scream of pain I let out made everyone freeze around me. The scream had over 10 different tones, as if there were 10 demons screaming. As I screamed, I cut off my leg and hopped away from the holy ground. Once I grew a new leg, I checked and sighed relaxed as the burn was gone. Momo, of course, ran over to help me hobble away from it, so I cut off her arm right above the burn to heal her of it. Was that last clump the holy ground? If so, it made the burn hurt a whole lot more. What was this one? I show the clump of grave dirt in my hand. The student told me, and I looked a bit stunned. So holy ground hurts, but grave dirt makes us stronger. May I have a glass vial or something similar? They tried to hand me a vial of holy ground, and I hissed at them. Keep that away from us. Momo was in her own fight at this time, and had to flee due to a blessed cross. That's of course when the girls decided to strike. Mischief Maker became a clone of me in fire opal disguise and laughed. So you do have weaknesses, vampire twins. Good to know. She knocked out the two Momo and I were just up against, grabbed the soil, caught the cross, and cornered us. She surrounded us in a circle of the soil and walked away laughing, leaving my dad to fight. We pretended there was a barrier around us and using some quirks make our hands flatten as if there was one. The chaos they caused using the stupid prank relics was beautiful. Within a few minutes, they made the entire school look like a fraternity from ancient movies hit it. Spray paint, toilet paper, slime, eggs, and a bunch of other things. By the time it was over, Momo and I dug a bit down through concrete and made a perfect circle hole due to the soil's barrier. When the attack was over, Shoto found us and laughed. Digging to America? I growled. Just get the holy soil circle away from us. It's keeping us trapped, and I hate it. I knew others could hear me, so I kept up the act. He used a water gun he found to get a good section of it away. When I touched it, I screamed in pain and cut off my visibly smoking hand. That burns. Holy cow, that burns. A new hand formed, but I kept the burning one away from me. The support student apologized and said it was a mix of holy water and rose water. After a little bit, they removed a good amount of soil. I became a bat and flew through the gap. Momo mimicked me, and I had to look for a vital fluid packet. I was furious and very thirsty. As I was drinking, the idiot support class person blasted me with two separate blasters, one just rose water and the other holy water. I screamed again and removed the back of my gym outfit as my skin visibly smoked. Before the idiot could say anything, I grabbed him by his throat and lifted him up. First, I am stuck in a small ring of holy ground for over 2 hours. Then I lose my hand to a combo of those two waters. What made you think you should blast me with them separately when I am drinking blood? My eyes were no longer green but pure black with red pupils, and it truly scared him. It took Momo and Dad to stop me from killing him. I wanted so badly to remove the idiot from the gene pool, but I listened as Momo sang a calming song. I dropped him and leaned against Momo before I passed out to seem weaker. According to Momo, we were excused home, and they would try to figure out tech or simple ways to avoid our weaknesses. I woke up at home and congratulated the girls as they showed me pictures of what all they did. Momo graded them as I told her about Shoto wanting to join us. Go ahead, but if I start drooling ice cubes, I will hurt you. I groaned as I got up and headed to school with Momo and my dad. I'm so tempted to have Eraser reveal us already. I'm sick of all our dumb classmates. I admit I might add Shoji and Kaminari to the collection, but I think Kaminari is too pure and into Bakugo. His smile dimmed since I killed him. Momo agreed, and we decided to plan it for next month, right after we get our provisional hero licenses. As we walked, I began to plan our theatrics and decided, actually, let's do it tomorrow. I have a very theatrical way to do it. I told them the idea, and they both smirked. Let's get Shoto in on it and prove what happened is the real story. I nodded and planned that bit out as we got to school and did our morning classes. During lunch, I went onto the roof and sat in a corner as I waited for the day to be over. After a couple of minutes, I realized I wasn't leaning on the railing, but an invisible wall. I checked and hissed when I realized holy ground was under the railing. Everyone in now. Something is wrong here. They didn't listen until someone dressed up as Fire Opal revealed himself and laughed. Everyone fled downstairs, and I tried to follow only to bounce backwards since there was holy ground there too. The fake destroyed the cameras and formed a dome of opals around the two of us. I got ready to fight before he removed his mask. He was me but slightly older. I will make this short. I am you from another timeline. In my timeline, there was no all for one. The banks were never robbed. And now it's your turn to travel through time. I began to laugh and shook my head. Very funny prank, whoever you are. Change back to normal and end this charade. He sighed and showed me a scar that was on his side from when Bakugo attacked me when I was 6. The scar is very unique and hard to mimic. I am you. Look, Bakugo gave us this when we were 6. Now only you or him would know that, and he used his quirk to heat up a metal object and pushed it there. I sat down stunned as he handed me a book that looked centuries old, but was an average notebook. This is what I call the loop book. The first two played as a hero, but the third gave up, and we have looped as villains since. Now I changed yours for much better results. I created All for One, All Might, and caused the bank jobs. You know the ones you followed and killed Endeavor? I quickly read the booklet and hid it in a pocket dimension for later. Okay, you're me, but why are you here now? Why not tell me sooner? He laughed. We set a rule to wait for either the accidental time incident or when we plan fake or real-time travel. I sat down and sighed as the dome started to crack. Go to my home and explain this to Mom. I'll meet you there soon, but first bust me up some. He formed his mask and beat me up. He used holy water and blessed crystals to pin me to the wall. When the dome crumbled, he cussed and vanished. I was of course screaming in pain as they pulled me off the wall and crystals. I sank my fangs into some people and slowly heal without killing them. They took me to Recovery Girl, who healed me up the rest of the way. The rest of the day I stayed in bed before school ended, and I trudged home between Momo and my dad. After we got mostly home, I began to walk normally and groan a bit as I stretched and popped my bones some. When we got home, I motioned everyone to not mention anything evil. Izuku, what happened? The school called saying you were attacked. I chuckled. I am fine, Mom. My quirk kept me alive even though it was Fire Opal again. Is it okay if I head to my room and rest? She nodded as I told everyone that there are heroes and police around us eavesdropping through telepathy. I go to my room and find the future version of me sitting on the bed. We talk and plan tomorrow's fun little event. A bit before supper time, Shoto arrived and headed up to my room. I told him the plan, and he nodded before I dropped the sound barrier, and future me vanished. I pretended to be just waking up from a nap, and Shoto talks me into making him a vampire lover like Momo. I sigh and agree, gently bite him. He was silent the whole time, and Momo screamed once I was done. Izuku. I just froze a soup and turned the tea into hot tea. What is going on? Shoto and I rushed down and laugh a bit as we swapped what was in her hands. Sorry, Momo. I made Shoto like you so you have his quirk too. That's cool. We eat supper and enjoy the evening. Once we were done eating, Shoto stayed the night, and I sent a quirk message to all the girls to tell them about the show tomorrow. Everyone was ready except the trio of heroes because they have to work at the school tomorrow for one reason or another. The next day, I was hesitant to enter rooms at the school as an act. When lunch hit, I stayed in the classroom and just drank the vital fluid pouches that I brought. We changed and headed to the big gym to get prepared for the hero's license test. That is when future me and Mischief Maker pretending to be everyone else showed up with my mother tied up. Hello, vampire twins. Look who we got. The heroes training my class tried to hold me back as I got very mad at him. Let our mother go, you sad excuse for a human being. He laughed and looked at me. Who said I was a human? With that, Shoto, Momo, Dad, and I hissed at him and charged at him. Of course this was the plan. Emeralda, Steins Gate now. The clone tossed out 4 small objects which formed into a real-time travel portal where we were sent back in time, and they threw my mother in after us. To make the next 5,000 years simple, we created the legend of vampires and werewolves, made tons of money, saw movies of the past as they were originally released, and trained our quirks. Soon we got back to when we were gated through time. Once the past me was sent through, we dropped down from the skylight looking much stronger. Finally you arrived. I hoped you'd show up sooner. I groaned and stretched. You must excuse our memory. It has been 5,000 years after all. Your time is up, past me. Everyone looked confused as the Mother Opal, and the Emeralda clones dissolved into dust suddenly. Momo formed her emerald dress. Mom created her weapons. Dad showed his true self. I made myself my Fire Opal outfit without the mask, and Shoto created a flaming ice outfit. Finally back to the present. I missed this school. So many memories. I walked to the wall and made it turn to dust as I touched it. So much energy in these walls. Quirk-created concrete is so much better than the energy of emotions. I relaxed and stretched some as I showed my fangs, which are much bigger than when I was younger. So want to hear why we are evil, or are you going to fight me? With that, Cementos, Aizawa, Midnight, Mariko, and MT Lady started to attack me. I simply struck Aizawa and Cementos away. As I bit the women, and they began to form their villain outfits and looks. The clones turned to dust, and Mischief Maker bowed to me. I'm guessing you are from this loop, aren't you? She nodded and kicked back some classmates that tried to hurt me. I laughed as I stood proudly. Ever heard the phrase history repeats itself? That saying is true about the timelines. Now excuse us, we have a world to take over. I began to walk away as Uraraka yelled. I thought you were a good guy. Why are you now Fire Opal? Mom, Momo, Shoto, and I began to laugh as it struck us as funny. I then turned to her. I was until I went through time and saw everything. Humans are vain creatures wanting stuff they can't have. I saw Atlantis sink, Caesar stabbed, and many more horrible events. My plan is to fix the world. Hey, rid of false heroes and true villains until only the pure of heart exist. While I was monologuing, Kirishima coated himself in rose water and attacked me. You killed Baku, bro, why? I smoked some as I looked at him. I didn't kill him yet. You saw the one who did dissolve. Now let go, you're burning me. I punched him hard, ruining his hardened skin and sending him into the wall. We left laughing as I destroyed everything in our way. Finally done playing hero, time to have some real fun. I was walking through the castle I have lived in for the last few centuries. I love this place, but we do need to modernize it later. Some video games and such would be nice in here. Momo nodded. True, but the bleak nature of this place is very homey with all the centuries we have been here. I chuckled. Very true, but let's make a game room, and maybe a room just for us. It has been a few centuries. We laughed, and I began to create everything. Once I was done, I sat on my throne and held Momo. So my vampire queen, where and who shall we target? I want to destroy another agency soon. She chuckles as she shows me a few good targets and another American hero on our turf who needs to die. Her hero name and quirk is called Eclipse Sand. She creates sand and some bone-like structures on her arms and face, which she controls like Gaara from an anime called Naruto. She is strongest during any eclipse, so we decided to hit her then. She killed over 500 civilians trying to get a simple purse thief. I saw the video and the thief's quirk was a shield that formed out of his arms, so an easy target. We decided I would steal her quirk and then make her into a very spectacle. I was kissing my vampire queen when Gem Izuku was dragged into the room by Gem Bitch and Onyx Slut. I didn't recognize him at first, and I helped him with his girl problems. I keep forgetting I used to have morals, so I try to keep it very simple and legal for him. Once he leaves, I come up with an idea. Momo, remember that odd parasite from the comic books? She grabbed multiple comics, and I chose Venom. With a smirk, I created the symbiote and give him a fake host to use. Hello, Venom. I made you to help us take over the world. If you help, I will remove the need for a host for you. The symbiote smiled and nodded. Will I still need to eat brains? I laughed. I can give you an infinite source of the chemical found in human brains that you need. You can eat them if you want, but only true villains and fake heroes. He chuckled. Sounds like a fun picnic. I send him off to find a host, and smirk as I see who he grabs on TV. Venom had grabbed Uraraka, and because I made him much stronger, he easily puts her under his thumb. Such a good show. Looks like I will need to get corruption serum to make her truly evil, so Venom is at full power. My dad laughs. You truly are an evil mastermind, son. So how shall Eclipse Sand die? I chuckled. Tomorrow during the hour-long perfect eclipse. For the first few minutes, I will be defensive before I take her quirk and use it to make her fake hero paste. We partied into the night before we struck the next morning. I went to town alone, and right before the eclipse, I destroyed a few empty buildings, causing a ton of noise and attracting my target. You chose the wrong time to attack villain trash. Today I'll be really strong. The eclipse started, and she started to create crimson-red sand. I formed a shield on my arm and blocked each of her sand arrows with ease. When she stopped to order me to give up, I said, "Thank you for shining up my shield. Your sand was just the weakness I needed to shine and not damage it." That's when she messed up. All of her sand, every single grain of it, came flying at me to crush me. At the very last second, I warped behind her and stole her quirk. The sand dropping, the bone structures falling off, and her body losing some of its muscle mass made her face show the tastiest despair I've seen in a few centuries. What's wrong? Fire Opal got your quirk? She turned and tried to hit me only for her sand to shield me and rip the skin off of her hand. She screamed as I ripped off the skin and jumped back as I licked up some of her vital fluid, then spat it out. Gross. You taste worse than Endeavor. I've eaten corpses that tasted better than you. I retched and grabbed a random teenager watching the battle and drank some of her vital fluid, boosting her quirk as I did it. So much better. Oh, plus yet you taste of Katsudan. I might keep you as my blood cow. This made Eclipse Sand furious and she tossed herself at me. This time all of her skin was completely removed. While she screamed in pain, I had the sand stop her vital fluid from getting everywhere. After a couple of minutes, I removed her throat. Shut up, you serial killer. Eclipse Sand eventually died, and I took the girl to my castle. What's your name, Blood Cow? She stuttered, saying Jolene. I put her in a bedroom stocked with anything she could want. Well, Jolene, you are now my favorite source of vital fluid. As long as you obey and take care of yourself, you'll live in luxury. Don't worry about me using you for anything other than vital fluid. I have my own queen after all. I left her to play games on her TV as I headed to my bedroom. Momo was drinking vital fluid from her own blood cow, as we call them. Once she was done, the boy left to his room. About time you found a new one. It's been a century since the last one. I laughed. True, but her discovery was accidental. Eclipse Sand tasted worse than a leper's corpse. Momo retched at the memory and hugged me. Venom got Uraraka full of the serum, and she is almost as evil as us. I nodded and closed our double coffin. After sleeping, we both got up, and I headed to the basement where Uraraka was. Hello, Uraraka. What a surprise, you are the best host for Venom. She pounced and kissed me. I have had a crush on you since the entrance exam, and I am glad to join your team. Venom formed a small head to speak to me. She isn't lying. It only took 1/2 a dose to get her on your side. I've made her cover you too, just in case, Master Izuku. He winked before retracting back into her body. I rolled my eyes. I do not need another partner. My brides are already enough. Uraraka's eyes bulged out. Brides? I laughed. Momo, Shoto, Midnight, Mariko, MT Lady, and a few others I've picked up over the centuries. I smirked and left the room. Venom, take her to your room and have her help decorate it. I headed to my throne room and played with the sand I gained yesterday. After messing with it, I made it into very sharp pigeon's blood, shards the size of sand grains. Next battle will be fun. I'm going to destroy the Hero Bureau headquarters all over the world. Then I will destroy all hero agencies and every country's capitals. Everyone, tomorrow the real battle starts. Brides go, where I tell you, and us Crimson Sand to destroy the HB headquarters. When the day ends, we should be working on agencies and capitals. By the end of this week, anarchy will rule, and then I will take over. They all cheered and I smirked. It's fun being king. I smirked as all my brides warped to where they were needed, and I had Vanavity. They created the name, not me. Go after what was left of All Might. As I got them into position, I hacked into the global broadcast system and took over every channel. Hello, citizens of the world. My name is Izuku Midoriya. You might know me better as Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, or my most recent name, Fire Opal. When it hits midnight in Japan, I will start my global attack and destroy every hero board base, every hero agency, and every capital. To avoid this, surrender to me, and I will spare you all from some of my wrath, as the hero board must go. I paused for a bit and watched, using multiple quirks, how everyone is freaking out and the people in charge of the TV channels trying to stop me. You can give up trying to stop my broadcast. I am using my quirks to do this, not any machines. Now you have till midnight in Japan to surrender. If you surrender, I will make a few simple laws. True villains will be drained of their vital fluid and killed. False heroes will lose their heads, and true heroes shall be allowed to keep working. To prove how serious I am, my newest follower, Vanavity, shall kill All Might. He is one of the biggest fake hero out there. I smirked as people looked greatly confused at this statement. All Might is a false hero for arresting people who are only villains because they looked evil, made people give up on their dreams, killing villains that were trying to change their lives, and arresting a late bloomer who couldn't control his quirk when it suddenly manifested after nearly dying. This made everyone freak out, hoping that what I said wasn't true. I smirked as I showed them recordings of everything I said. Everyone was stunned seeing All Might attack an ex-villain wearing a quirk-blocking necklace, arresting mutant-type quirks who were just helping fix stuff, him telling me to give up on my dream, and then him calling the cops after I bit him and apologized like crazy. To add more nails to his coffin, I showed them each time he or another hero attacked people for appearance, their quirks suddenly manifesting due to stress, and a lot more. Their outrage of being lied to made the air smell so much better. Now for the part one promised, All Might's death. I showed All Might sitting on his couch watching this, then looking at where a camera could be if I wasn't using a quirk. When he stood up, Vanavity cut off his head, then ate it. With the quick kill over, I swapped back to my face. You all have 8 hours till Japan hits midnight. Surrender or else. I ended the hijacking of TV and kept watching people riot and do the work for me. Momo kissed me. Looks like the world is your fangs now, my king. I nodded and began to frown as each and every country said, we do not bow to terrorists' demands. I growled and sent one simple message over all the channels. Since you all won't surrender, let the rain begin. When I said that, all my brides began destroying the hero board stations, killing all the members inside. People who were there for an appointment, falsely accused villains, and true heroes were spared from the wrath, but everyone else was killed. They kept spreading out their vital fluid sand, destroying more and more stuff. Momo and I decided to walk into the nearby town square and taunt the heroes there. After we arrived, I turned on an old radio and began to dance with Momo. While we danced, we killed worthless heroes by either kicking off their heads, stabbing them in their hearts, or draining them of vital fluid. We did this for a little bit before Izawa walked up to us. We stopped and greeted him. Hello, Izawa. Sorry about the time loop thing. I'm glad that you're a true hero. Growing up, I looked up to you because you basically fought like a quirkless person. He sighed. Why are you destroying the world then? Momo sighed. Not the world, just those who are quirk elitists and false heroes. We give quirks to the quirkless, protect those who can't protect themselves, and more. I walked over and held out my hand. Join us, Izawa, and your eyes will never hurt again. You will be able to sleep all you want. Plus, I will save Ms. Joke and your cats from any harm. Just shake my hand and accept my deal. He glared at me. If I accept, you must stop the attack before you destroy any more capitals and give them one more chance to surrender. I smiled. I swear on my fangs, the starters of my new life, to stop my attacks if you agree. He shook my hand, and my nails dug into his hand slightly. Ms. Joke, Izawa's 10 cats, and all their possessions appeared behind him. With his vital fluid and mine creating a vital fluid oath, the attacks stopped with only one capital being destroyed. I smirk, and Izawa suddenly forms cat ears and a tail. Since we made a deal, I'll give you some extra for it. With that, I walked away and created a house for Izawa on a nearby empty lot. It looked simple, but there was a lot more to it. They were teleported in along with his stuff and cats. They both quickly became a couple, as Izawa knew I wasn't one to break my word. With a quick broadcast, I sent my message. I made a deal with a hero I believe to be a true hero. I will give you all one more chance to surrender. You have till midnight in Japan in 3 days. After that, I will resume my assault. Using my quirk, I eavesdropped on many meetings about what everyone should do. No one wanted any more damage to happen, but they didn't want to surrender. Just laughing, I planned to destroy more cities. They decide to not heed my warnings, they'll pay the price. Momo and I were walking around my castle as we suddenly see something very odd. A cat that was made of smoke like Kurogiri. I knelt down and tried to pet it only for it to hiss and run off. We followed it to see a giant green portal. Another cat, but with Cyber's QI next to it, and Cyber walking out of the portal and grabbing the Kuro kitty. Hi Vamp Izuku, how have you been? Sorry about this. The kittens I found gained quirks, and I'm trying to collect them all. Cyber looked a bit more muscular than last time, and he was a cybernetic Nico. Honestly, it suited him. I laughed. It's fine, Cyber, but why is there a Kuro kitty and a Cyber paw? The kittens started to meow at Cyber, and he sighed. Fine, those are your new names. I agree they are much better than Gamepad and Minigiri. Now, did any others come through your portal, Cyberpaw? Some meowing from Cyberpaw as Kuro Kitty goes back home. Izuku sighs. I'll find Greycross. You go home and close the portal. Cyberpaw obeyed, and Cyber leaned against the wall. Can you answer my Izuku's question, please? Momo asked sweetly, but obviously a bit mad. Sorry, a few days ago we found some kittens in a lot I was cleaning. They are as smart as a human and forming quirks left, right, and center. Some are getting quirks like who they like more, or just random quirks. Kuro Kitty and Kurogiri are best friends, and they do portal races now, and Cyberpaw and I game often. That cat is a pro at Fruit Ninja. He started to look around the floor with a holographic cover over his eyes until he found the kitten and got ready to send it back when a small Nico girl with white, pink, and green hair walked over holding an identical kitten. Daddy, how are we both holding Greycross? The Nico girl asked before the one she was holding turned into smoke. And Greycross meowing proudly. The Nico girl bounced happily. Yay, another one got a quirk. What's her new name? Momo giggled. So cute. Anyways, how about Deflicity? The kitten nodded and Cyber wrote it out on a paper which he gave to the Nico. Put this in the name slot and put Quirk as clones. Now I'm going to stay here for a bit, Eri. Now you be good for May, Mom, Dad might. And all for one, okay? She nodded and he closed the portal. Momo whispered, I kinda want her as a daughter. Think we will find her here? I shrugged and Cyber's ears twitched. I'm not sure if Eri would be good in your care since you drink vital fluid and honestly reek of evil. Momo hissed at him, and he was unfazed as his metal tail split into multiple, which he used to lift himself up. I'm just being honest. Being part cat lets me smell stuff like that. I kissed Momo and motioned Cyber to relax. Where did you find your Eri? I'm guessing from the scars on her arms she was abused. The next hour he told us what Overhaul did to her and where he found her. Momo and I decided to go and get her now and asked Cyber to join us as a metal Nico. He shrugged and formed a metal shell around himself. As we walked down the hall to go attack our reality's Overhaul, Onyx Slut tackled Cyber, saying how cute he was thinking he was a robot. Get off me. You're denting my armor. I don't need more bruises. May will kill me. I laughed as she backpedaled in shock and apologized. Cyber growled as he removes his shell, fixed the dents, and put it back on. He looked her over. Wait, is that Midnight? Momo kissed her gently. She used to be. She's Onyx Slut and one of Izuku's brides like I am. Cyber scanned them and looked over the results. Incredible. Vamp, can I copy your quirks later? Most of the ones they have are awesome and seem to be linked to you. Wait, why is Laser Farts a quirk in your collection? I couldn't help but laugh as I remembered the day Dad gave it to me. Dad gave it to me as a joke. Right after I got it, I farted, destroyed a bookstore, and had to run so we wouldn't get in trouble. He laughed and shook his head. At least your father isn't a complete trash. My stepfather, I guess, was a hero called Dragon Lungs. He abused my mom and tried to put me under his thumb. He attacked my fiancée and daughter, and I put him in jail for so long he lost his hero license forever. Momo hugged him, but he laughed some. Don't worry. All Might is actually engaged to my mom, and All for One is actually my dad, and is changing to be a good person. We congratulate him, and we kept heading to Overhaul's base. Cyber looked around and watched how people ran from us walking down the street. I guess you did something really big? I've never smelt so much fear before. I nodded and told him as he copied my quirks and made a ring of pigeon's blood sand around him. Wow, this is awesome. I'm definitely going to use this as a possible quirk for undercover work. I chuckled. How about a pigeon's blood Nico with that sand? Call yourself Crimson Claw. He nodded and began to punch the ground repeatedly until a huge hole formed. Once that was done, he hopped down and made his voice robotic. DNA signature found. Target is down hall. He robotically marched down the hallway he uncovered. We followed him and killed anyone who got in his way. Once he got to Eri's room, he broke the door and walked in. Eri found. Please come with me. I was programmed to save you. He gently picked her up and started walking away. We followed him to the hole he made only for Overhaul to seal it up. You will not leave with Eri. She is staying with me. Cyber looked at Eri. Sorry, but you must live. He handed her to Momo, who instantly cuddled her and formed an emerald shell around the two of them. Izuku Midoriya, stay back. I nodded and he launched himself at Overhaul. The flurry of punches, rings of sands, and hits with the tail surprised us all, especially Overhaul. What got me the most was the bloodlust I sensed from Cyber. So all Izukus have a seed of darkness. Good to know. What I saw next was actually a bit hot. Then again, vital fluid turns me on. He bit and tore out Overhaul's voice box. The scream of pain suddenly turning into a gurgling noise was delicious. He then created blades where he cut off his hands and incinerated them. For the next half hour, he slowly killed Overhaul. Right before Overhaul died, he whispered, "Say hello to Mother Death for me. She will love torturing you for all eternity." With it over, he broke open a new hole, and we left destroying the entire base. As we walked home, Momo whispered, "Is it just me, or does vital fluid make us both ready to go?" I nodded and Cyber licked himself clean of Overhaul's vital fluid. I kinda wish I saved some. Justice bloodshed tastes so good. This made Momo and I chuckle before we waved goodbye to a now clean Cyber. Eri was unconscious through most of the battle thanks to Momo using Midnight's quirk. We got home and took care of Eri. For the first day, she was apprehensive of us until we proved we wouldn't hurt her. After that, we played games, ate multiple apple recipes, and I made her a Nico since Cyber told us she would love it. She did and loves us even though we are evil. We saved her and wants to see Metal Kitty, as she calls Cyber, again. I told her that he was another me and kinda taught her about other realities. She wants to meet another her now. All my brides love her, and she loves having multiple moms. Mommy Momo, Mama Onyx, Mama Gem, and Bun Bun Mommy. There's also Uncle Frosty and Annie Trouble. We decided to extend the wait time for the next attack so we could play with Eri. Momo and I agreed on one thing. We should have rescued her sooner. She is so precious, and we absolutely love her. Even Ice King Shoto is smitten by our little snow kitten, as we call her. I walked down the street with Eri on my shoulders, her ears and tail twitching and moving around as she looked around. Papa, can I be a vampire like you? I know it's frowned upon, but I like you and Mama. I shook my head. Sorry, Snowflake, but you don't deserve a thirst for vital fluid like us. You can stay in Nico, and we will keep you alive as long as you can stand it. Her ears folded. Okay, can I get a kitten though? I chuckled. You are a kitten, but sure. I'll see if I can find the Quirk kittens in this reality like Cyber or Mecha Kitty, as you called him, did in his world. She cheered happily, then hissed when we both realized a ring of false heroes around me. Release the girl and surrender Midoriya. You have no right to threaten the world. I sighed. Eri, be a sweetie and climb up the telephone pole, but don't touch the wires. Also cover your eyes just in case. She nodded and leapt from my shoulders and onto a telephone pole across the street and climbed up it. Now let me say this. I extended time so you all can create treaties so that some chaos is contained. Should you attack me, I will reduce the time left. You guys have to consider it. Now let me play with my daughter, or you'll end up my next meal. Some shook, but the rest stood firm. After a couple of minutes of a standoff, one punched me in the back and broke his hand. 1 hour removed from ceasefire due to an attack against me. I stated softly, but sounded like it came from everywhere and in every language. After that, all of them tried to kill me. Once they wore themselves out and turned my body into sludge, they cheered, thinking they won. That's when I reformed behind them and slow clapped. Bravo, idiotic false heroes. You just removed a week from the ceasefire. I made countdown timers fill the sky and appear in the corners of all phones, PCs, game systems, etc. This scared them all, and I stepped forward. Walk away so I don't get your foul vital fluid on my clothes. I'd rather be clean as I have playtime with my daughter. That's when I suddenly heard hissing and a woman yelling. I turned to see a female false hero trying to take my daughter off the pole. My anger spiked, and the countdown clocks changed to 2 days. For attacking my daughter, you all have 2 days to surrender, or else I will continue the Crimson Ring. With that, I marched over to the female hero and threw her at the other heroes. Momo came flying down the road and made sure Eri was okay as she heard me yelling. Once she was sure Eri was safe, I backed away and shielded Eri. When Eri got a simple cut, Momo went ballistic on the rose bush that gave it to her. Mama Momo POV. I was furious. Someone tried to hurt my snowball. Who did it? Who tried to attack my daughter? With only the female having claw marks that were still bleeding, I grabbed her by her neck. So you dared to hurt my snowflake? My princess who we saved from an abusive guardian? Why would you try to hurt her? The fake heroine spit in my face. Screw you, Vamp Beach. I wiped her spit off my face and extended my nails. Apologize to Eri, or I'll really slowly kill you. Another spit, and I sighed. You fake heroes never listen. I pinned her to the wall and formed emerald cuffs to keep her there. With her secured, I killed the other false heroes quickly by cutting off their heads and removing their hearts, which I put in blocks of ice for supper. With supper grabbed, I walked over to the bound idiot. Now should I start with your face, arms, or legs? I traced her body with my long nails as I planned out how to kill her. That's when I smelt something off. She had plastic surgery done, which is illegal to have as a hero beyond a facelift and to repair ruined faces. She had a ton done that she smelled like rubber and plastic. Lip injections, implants. But implants had fat implants on her hips, and who knows what else. The hot hero, Captain Fantasia? More like Captain Plastic Barbie. I slowly formed a very jagged emerald knife and put it to her face. I know where I am going to start on you. Her begging for her life made it so much better as I began to remove her outfit by cutting along the seams of her outfit. Once she removed her cloths, I began to cut off her tips. I barely cut off a fourth of either one before her forms popped out. They were still clear and brand new. So that's why you took a month vacation. You got new pair. Captain Plastic was crying as I began to cut off and out the rest of her beauty enhancements. By the time I was done, she looked like a stick figure. With a smirk, I took a picture of her with her plastic parts and uploaded it. The caption read, "Why I hate fake beauty heroes." I burned the mess I made and sent a message saying names of the false heroes I killed. After cleaning myself up, I headed over to Izu and Eri. "Sorry about that, Eri. No one gets to hurt my daughter." She nodded and told me she wanted to be a strong vampire like us. I shook my head. "Eri, we eat other people to live. We don't want you to have to do the same as us." She pouted, "But I want to be strong like you too." Izuku sighs. "How about we have a strong, true hero train you some? Lightly for now, and eventually you can do our training okay? You'll be one of the few humans with pink muscles only." We waited for a bit before she nodded and hugged us both. I picked her up and started to walk home, with Izu carrying supper for us and our brides. "Are human hearts tasty?" I chuckled. "Depends on the human's health. The healthier the person, the better. Even some heroes have bad hearts from bad habits." Eri tilted her head. "Does that mean when you take over there will be human farms to feed our family?" This made Izu actually laugh. The laugh was so pure my still heart gave a few beats. "Of course not, Eri. We don't need their hearts for food. We drink their vital fluid, and from time to time we eat meat. Hearts are a perfect mix of both. We do have mostly willing people as our vital fluid sources, which we take awesome care of, but that's it." Eri thought for a second. "So if I had tasty vital fluid, I could be a vital fluid source?" I held her at eye level. "You will never be a vital fluid source again. I don't care how much you believe you owe us. That beak-wearing idiot did more than enough of that. You are our daughter, which is way better than being a vital fluid source." Izu instantly said the same, but said that if she so much as bleeds because someone pushes her, he will kill them. We arrived at home and sent Eri off to play with her aunts and uncles, as she calls them. Everyone here loves her, and she loves being near Shoto. Makes sense since he is very warm with his quirk. As I made both our vital fluid sources and our vampires' meals, Izu ran off for something. By supper time he wasn't back yet, and I was worried. I was washing dishes with Onyx Slut when Eri screamed in joy. We both ran to see what was going on when we saw Eri surrounded by lots of kittens. Izu was panting and flying to get how is the kitten walking on the ceiling. "I just cleaned up there. Izu." He froze and chuckled. "Sorry, Momo. I had to get Eri a kitten, and what's better than a bunch of kittens with quirks? They will gain quirks of those they like. Remember Kuro Kitty and Cyberpaw? I found them. I growl at first and relax. Get the kitten off my ceiling, and I'll create an Eri-sized kitten obstacle course so Eri and the kittens can run it." He quickly caught the kitten and lead them all to a room with heating pads and a litter box, as he had this planned for a while. I love him, but I might nail him into a coffin alone tonight. I sat on my throne and watched as almost every country denied to submit to me. The main thing that made me curious was the messages were almost identical. Only differences were country's name, their view of my quest for equality, and that they shall never give in. When they saw a few give in and become part of my team, they called them weaklings and traitors. I watched as people flooded from the country as they disagreed with surrendering to me. Once they were all and I only had Japan, the Philippines, Australia, who already had fairness for all system, and Russia. Russia surprised me the most, but then I found out the Quirkless took control and joined me. I, of course, rewarded their pure of heart and created a system to find and weed out any spies. Only one spy was found on any of the countries that surrendered. I kicked that spy into America. Not joking, I drop-kicked that guy. I kinda love the mental image of some poor fool getting drop-kicked by the muscular, fanged cinnamon roll. With that done, I planned my next attack, and Momo was having fun showing Eri the countries that surrendered. Eri loved playing with the kangaroos and the bunnies from their respective places. When she saw snow in Russia, she understood her nickname was based on her hair and played with it. Once they were both back in my castle, I started the first attack. Using multiple quirks, I created unbreakable metal and gem bridges across to Asia. Instead of sending any of my new followers, I went alone with an army of what looked like gem and holographic statues. When I was near China, I smirked and started a broadcast to the entire world. To prove how powerful I alone will take over China with just 3 of my quirks. I use Living Gem, the code, and multi-broadcast. Let the fun begin. I simply walked over the bridge and onto the soil of China only for a holy water bomb to splash me. The water had no effect, and I began to laugh loudly as I chipped away a bit of my now porcelain skin, showing my pigeon's vital fluid flesh. What part of Living Gem did you not get? Wait, did no one tell you about my multiversal counterparts? Oh well, With a wave of my hand, the flood of statues came flying off the bridge as a flood of energy and Pigeon's vital fluid. After a week of me just having my clones march and peacefully push back everyone who tried to attack me. After that, the clones I had created in Russia began to march south and to the west where able. It only took a month to gain control of Europe and Asia. With that done, I yawned and made sure the world know I just did that without any casualties, and if they don't surrender, I will get worse. The USA actually tried to nuke Japan. I recorded me literally eating the nuke and just burping some smoke. That's one spicy meatball. With me eating that nuke, they sent more and a lot stronger ones. My clones simply ate them as I did while I walked on water to them. Once I got to California, I simply said, boo. The beach cleared so fast I was stunned. You would have thought everyone had a speed quirk. I began to form a wall of clones that slowly marched surrounding all of both North and South America. With the wall created, I warped to Africa and did it there as well. With them all surrounded, I yawned and warped home to play with Eri. I missed my fanged queen and my snowball princess. 3 months away was long enough. As I got home, Eri and Momo tackled me. Eri was begging me not to eat a nuke again. Momo was beating me up for scaring all of them, especially them. I of course apologized and showed them some stuff I bought for them. Eri loved the cat plushie and Momo loved my gift to her. Let's just say I had a lot of time with her to make up on. With Momo finished catching up with me, I showered, became flesh, and played with Eri. We had what she called the Nico races. There was an obstacle course she made that needed you to have the Nico quirk to have a chance. We raced twice before I learned the course and began to win. After that, we played tag, hide and seek, catch, and the normal bonding stuff. When a few days had passed, Africa surrendered and wanted a treaty. Of course, I gave the pure of heart good quirks, removed them from evil hearts, and set up the new equality laws. With Africa under my thumb, I went back to play with Eri and create new quirks and relics to cause trouble for USA in particular. Let's just say I might just wipe them all out. So many impure hearts are there. I walked through the mess I created. No one was left, not a single person was left. Each heart I found here was so corrupt and evil. The USA is no more. I destroyed it all, and I regret it. They may have been a corrupt country, but I had to erase everyone, including kids. The pets still live, but I might have to erase them too. There's too many pets left behind, and I can't take care of them. I was lied to by their current president. A person who, in the public eyes, was a nice man who only looked out for his citizens. He wanted to make a treaty with me in his office. What happened was far from what I was hoping. It was a trap, and it almost killed me as I had removed my immortality quirk a long time ago. He had a quirk that can kill people if he removed his glasses, similar to Medusa. I was turned to stone, and for 3 days I was stuck that way. He laughed and boasted that he beat me. After his 10th time mocking me, I broke through the stone shell and growled, "Shut up." That was the best nap, except you kept mocking me. I then killed him on global television with a simple bitch slap. Needless to say, I wanted vital fluid. That's when his bodyguards, high on a quirk-boosting toxin, tried to kill me. They were slightly harder to kill. I had to destroy their ball, then slap them. With them dead, I drank all of the trigger on them and killed all of the USA with no problems at all. I think I will have Dad figure out the pet issue. I feel sick. Momo POV. I saw Izuku stumble into the castle, and I instantly brought him to the medical room. Our version of recovery girl couldn't save him. Izuku took too much trigger in his body, if literally killing him. There's no way to save him. Once we found out that, Izuku instantly turned to dust, crying and apologized for being a rage-filled fool. I collected the dust from Izuku's body and quickly used the quirk, making Quirk to warp to Cyber Izuku. Cyber, I'm Vamp Momo. I need you to save my Izuku. I scared his girlfriend May, Gearhead, and their Eri. We talked for a while, and he returned to my world where he found Izuku's soul and put it into a new body made from his own vital fluid and the dust from his body. Cyber then slapped him. Why, Izuku? Keep your butt away from Trigger. I can't save you next time. I don't want to lose another person. He then warped home sad. With Cyber gone, I slapped my love and then literally beat him. You will recreate immortality and keep it. I don't want to lose you again. He promised, and we went to bed with me tying him down. You are not free of your punishment, bud. Izuku POV. While me going Trigger happy really made Momo mad. I'm so glad we had Onyx Slut knock Eri out for the entire night. While I love Momo, I must never make her mad again. The next day I had trouble sitting and had to drink a lot of extra fluids. I hope you learned your lesson, Izuku. Sorry I was dragged into it, Shoto said as he gave me more food. I nodded and ate my food, no more trigger. Or any other booster. I'm even afraid to touch Viagra now. All my brides laughed at the joke, and we had a nice day. I set up a bunch of laws for it all to be good for Quirkless and the Quirked. Momo created lots of shelters for abused people. Shoto made some amusement parks for kids and adults. Eri wanted to do something, so we created a lot of pet shelters in the USA with people from all over the world working in them. My goal is done, and I think the world is now a much better place. All false heroes are now in jail. The falsely imprisoned people are released, and now only pure hearts have quirks. I think we will have fun raising Eri and the kids I will have with Momo. This is the end of the story, and I apologize to all of those enjoying this story, but as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. I'm planning a new story, so don't worry, I won't give up writing. Anyways, I hope you all have great days, and thank you for reading. So, this was the end of this series. Stay tuned for next part of this series, and if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Until next time.